I think it'd be an understatement to say that a majority of fans were pretty disappointed with the first season of DC Universe's Titans, which totally sucks because there's so much potential for an amazing series for the Titans, which is exactly why I'm going to be doing a little rewrite of the first season today and see if I can maybe write something fun for you all to listen to. I have no idea the way I'm going to go about writing this yet, but I'm going to try to keep the video from being an hour long and just the major story beats for the whole season. So let's get right into it and let me know down below your thoughts at the end of all of this. Our story starts out with Dr. Light pulling off a bank heist. We follow him as he tries to make his getaway for a few minutes, and he makes it into an alleyway where he can take refuge, thinking he's safe, until the sound of a batarang is heard and he's almost hit in the head with it, thinking this must be Batman. He looks to see that it wasn't a batarang, it's a golden R symbol, pinning his costume to the wall. Light looks to the end of the alleyway to see 6 silhouetted figures standing before him. He's thrown out into the empty Gotham street where the figures now step into the light. Young versions of Robin, Starfire, Raven, Beast Boy, Speedy, and Kid Flash are standing above him. As they step out, white text appears on the screen showing that it's the year 2014, Gotham City. Light is annoyed at their presence and attacks them. This is obviously not the first time he's come across our young heroes. We can tell that the Titans are at their prime. They're having fun and kicking ass. They all work incredibly well together, seamless. As they finish the job taking down Dr. Light, they head to Titan's Tower where they hang out for some celebratory pizza. They end up getting into a deep talk towards the end, and it ends with Starfire asking if the Titans would ever break up. She would have nowhere to go. She's not from here and she doesn't want to go back to her home planet. Robin assures her that that will not happen, and they cheers with their sodas, yelling Titans forever. That was 5 years ago. It's the year 2019 and the Titans have broken up for some time now. Dick Grayson, formerly Robin, is now 21 and is one of Detroit's finest police officers. Wally West, formerly the Kid Flash, now 18, is the Flash protecting Coast City with the main Flash still in Central City. Yes, Wally will be wearing his Flash costume from the recent comics where it's like the basic Kid Flash costume, but it's all red and some silver because, I mean, come on guys, who doesn't love that suit? Raven and Beast Boy have an apartment together, both 18, and just living their best lives. If you want any visual of what this would look like, just look at Piccolo's Beast Boy and Raven drawings on Instagram. They're incredible. I'll put one up here, but he's got like a whole album of them. Cut over to Tim Drake's Robin chasing down some thugs. He quickly takes them down as he's trying to get answers out of them as to where their boss Penguin is. As soon as they give him their answer, they're killed by 2 metal X's covered in red flying into their chests. Tim looks to the sky to see what Titans fans will know as Red X standing on the rooftop above. Tim gives chase. Red X is good, very good, and Tim ends up losing him. It's set up here when Tim goes back to the Batcave that Batman and the rest of the Justice League are currently off-world. Tim mentions that Red X looked really familiar and digs through all the Batcomputer's files until he finds what he's looking for, the Red X files from 2016, the same year that the Titans disbanded. He learns that Red X used to be Dick's mantle for getting closer to Slade Wilson, aka Deathstroke, a big bad guy for them at the time. It all boils down to Tim realizing that he can't track down Red X alone, and Red X is obviously up to something, and if he's wearing the Red X costume, he must be an old flame of the Titans because he knew where to get the Red X costume. So he needs to get at least all of them in a room together to get their information, and in hopes of getting them back together. Tim breaks into the broken down Titans Tower where we see the place completely run down. It's a mess. Electricity and everything still works due to Batman never selling the building and just keeping it for future use in case he needed it, but the place is a dust blanket. Tim is suddenly attacked by Starfire. She doesn't recognize him because he's not in uniform. He fends her off until she calms down and he explains to her who he is and what his plan is, and he proves it by showing that he has contacts in his phone to all of the Justice League, Dick Grayson, everybody, and he tells her they need to get the Titans back together. Tim and Starfire contact all the members and basically trick them into going there to meet, basically saying like Titans Tower is under attack or someone trashed Titans Tower or something like that. And Dick is visibly upset about being tricked into doing this, and Beast Boy and Wally are actually really excited that they're all in a room together again, and Raven's kind of just indifferent as she is. It's here where it's set up through Dick's monologue about why they shouldn't get back together that Speedy actually died in the year of 2016, the same night Jason Todd died, both because they weren't good enough to save them. The Titans weren't good enough and they're better on their own. No one really agrees with Dick. They're all kind of on board to bring the band back together after Tim makes a speech telling them that yes, they lost 2 of their members, friends, but what would those 2 want? For them not to fight the good fight anymore because of them? Neither of them would have wanted that. They all convince Dick to join the team again, and he reluctantly agrees but says just for one mission because he wants to find out who stole his Red X gear. As the team discusses the game plan, they can feel a lot of tension between Dick and Starfire. Safe to say things didn't really end on a good note between them, but they managed to find a pattern in all the recent Red X attack that they could find in local news outlets. Gang lords in Gotham City and its sister cities. Through a narrowing down of lists and databases, they have suspicions that Black Mask is the Red X's next target. For the first time in 2 years, the Titans suit up. Yes, Dick Grayson is now Nightwing, and as they walk out in their suits, we see faded versions of their young selves doing the same. From here, I gotta get more vague because I really don't want this video to be hours and hours long, so from here we're just gonna break down in a list of the major story beats. Some of them are not exactly in order, but we're gonna get into it. Black Mask dead. The Titans' first official interaction with the Red X is when they finally arrived at Black Mask's base, only to find him dead, killed by, you guessed it, Red X, who then surprise attacks them. He tells them that they need to back off and stay away from all this. They fight Red X, who completely and totally kicks their asses. It almost seems like he knows every move they're gonna make. The Titans take note of this as Wally tries to run them out of there. Red X's plan. In their second confrontation with the Red X, they discover that he's trying to take down every crime lord in Gotham and its sister cities, then moving on to other cities as well. He wants to control as much crime as humanly possible, build an empire. This kicks off the manhunt for all the crime lords in Gotham Red X could be going for next. Red X begins sending a ton of Titans' old villains after them to keep them from interrupting with his plans, giving us a chance to see all the old Titans foes as they've grown up and what they've become. Blast to the past. The show will take a lot from Arrow when it comes to part of this story, so every episode will do flashbacks to the Titans when they were young so we get to see them in their prime, each flashback having something to do with the same events happening in the present day, all leading us up to what happened on the fateful day they lost two of their best members. Growing pains. Beast Boy and Raven's personal arc will bring them on a little journey of their own. Not like one they're on with the Titans, it's more of a mental journey. Through these two, we are going to see the struggles of trying to handle a serious relationship at the young age of 18 while also being superheroes. They find it really hard to go on dates or any time to just have that for the two of them. Straining their relationship both when they're alone and when they're on missions. Next in line. Tim is going to have his own arc as well. In this show, Tim is going to be pretty new to the Robin game, struggling with the cold truth of what happened to the last Robin. He will question whether or not being Robin is even worth it, if Batman's even a good guy to put his trust into, and Dick is going to help him with this. So her arc will be about learning to live more for herself and becoming more okay with the fact that she won't have him around in the way he used to be. For so long, she's kind of been scared of being alone, and now she's learning that she has to be more okay with that, and that maybe sometimes being alone is okay. Separation anxiety. Wally's arc will mostly be about struggling with what it means to lose someone who we were close to, the loss of a friend. That friend was Speedy. We learn that Wally's way of coping with things has been completely ignoring them, constantly moving and never slowing down to process the events that happened that day. When the reforming of the Titans forces him to think about that day again, he must stop running away from the things that he doesn't want to think about and face them head on. Formation. The team will constantly be trying to perfect new formations for battle, but they can't seem to work as a unified team like they used to. They just can't seem to get the sync right. Everyone's different now and has time to develop their own styles, and it's just not meshing well together. Red X's identity. The clock is ticking, and there aren't many crime lords left in Gotham that Red X hasn't killed or the Titans haven't put in protective custody. They learn that their last two targets on Red X's list are the All-Americans and Penguin. When they intercept him at an All-Americans hideout, he doesn't have a villain waiting for them. He tells them that they are the real villains, that violence uncontrolled just hurts more and more people, but refusing to let X control that violence just makes them villains of that scenario. A fight breaks out between X and the Titans, and X is still besting the Titans due to their inability to work as a singular entity, but they manage to knock X's helmet off, revealing that Red X is none other than Jason Todd. The team is completely blindsided by this, and he explains how he narrowly escaped the crutches of death. He disappeared after only realizing Batman came to look for him and not the Titans. He was taken in by a mentor, and they trained him to be even more skilled than before and taught him that this way of taking down bad guys is the only way. Dick tells him that it made him crazy, and he simply says,
"Am I? Or did he just unlock something in me that was always there?"
The team refuses to fight him and tries talking to him, but Jason proves that he is past talking to. He kills the leaders of the All-Americans and leaves, Titans not knowing what to do next. Dick gets a pep talk. After learning that Red X is Jason Todd, Dick is put lower into the dumps than ever before. Starfire enters, and for the first time in a while they sit down and have a meaningful conversation. He expresses to her how he's feeling, and she tells him that just because you fail doesn't mean you should give up. That's not what Speedy would have wanted. Losing doesn't make you a failure, but giving up the fight makes you a failure. And Dick is not a failure, and she knows that. This gives Dick the strength to get back up and get the Titans together for their final fight with Jason. But before he does that, he makes it a point to apologize to Starfire for everything that happened. The breakup of both their relationship and the Titans, giving both of them closure, and she decides to forgive him. The final fight with Jason Todd. When Dick gets the team together for the big final fight, he quickly reiterates Starfire's speech to the entire team. He tells them that if they really care about Jason, they need to fight him tonight. There's a chance that the Jason they knew is still in there, but if they let him kill Penguin tonight, the Jason they knew may never return. Sure, Jason may already be lost, but they cannot take this chance to not save him today. They cannot let him accomplish his goal. The final confrontation arrives. The Titans realize that if they're gonna beat Jason, they need to work together as a team like they used to. It's all or nothing. The fight begins. Jason seems to be besting them until they finally use their formations correctly. When Red X sees that he might not have such a good chance as he thought, he lets the hounds loose. Cinderblock enters, ready to fight. The team tells Dick to follow Jason as he runs inside to get what he came for. Jason and Dick fight inside a Penguin's base. Dick continues to try to convince Jason to not go through with all this, and Jason tells him that it's the only way they can ever achieve peace in this world. They have to control the violence. But Dick tells him that just makes him as bad as the people they're trying to stop. The rest of the Titans are barely able to take down Cinderblock in time to meet up with Dick and fight Jason. They finally get their formations down right, and they manage to beat Jason. They offer him a place on the team, knowing that his mind might have been corrupted, and they say that they can help him. He refuses, and he makes a quick getaway. During that final fight, we'll be flashing back and forth between the final fight and the night that Speedy and Jason Todd died. And basically, it's the same night that Jason Todd died in the comics, where, you know, he got locked up and the bomb, and you all know that. But we're going to also show where the Titans were during that time, because, you know, Jason was a part of the Titans at the time in this continuity, and so we're going to show where the Titans were. Joker knew that he was part of the Titans, so he set up a distraction for the Titans in one of their biggest villains, and basically Speedy died during that fight. And so they lost 2 members in the same night. I don't need to go into huge detail because I think that's enough explanation, but if you want more detail, I could go into it in the comments. Just let me know. I just don't want this video to be too long. Aftermath. After all the craziness, the Titans decide to stay together, because honestly it felt really good fighting alongside friends again, and they realized that just because they failed once doesn't mean that they're not stronger together, because they are. Nightwing decides it's time for an upgrade, so he upgrades to his red suit, and they continue to search for Jason, knowing that he's out there somewhere. In an after-credits scene, Jason is seen reporting back to someone, telling them everything that happened and asking what's next. The person tells him,
"Don't question me. The X-Persona worked just as I said, did it not? After all, I did train you."
As he says this, the man steps into the light to reveal none other than Slade Wilson Deathstroke, the Titans' greatest foe, and the credits roll. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you like this read of Titan Season 1, let me know in the comments below. What do you think of the actual Titan show happening? Also, let me know that. And if you want me to write Titan Season 2 from this continuity, then let me know, and I will get right on that video. And just, also, if you guys are new to the channel and you haven't seen any of the other rewrites we've done, then just go check them out in the playlist on the screen. And as always, stay nerdy.